When I got my diagnosis, I just couldn't deal with it the first couple days, seeing all the problems that I was gonna have. And I said, no, this is not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna fight this and do whatever I can. I wanna be there for every single one of my kids and for my grandchildren.
Hello and welcome to Hue Light USA's Wellness Podcast. My name is Darren Schwartz and I am the US Managing Partner. Today we'll be interviewing Chanie Pechter and her husband, Rabbi Chaim Pechter. Chanie is an amazing woman who was dealt a hand of a bad diagnosis of Parkinson's. And Chanie is going out of her comfort zone. She's gonna wear a heart on her sleeve and she's going to share her personal experience of going through her condition and the benefits that they've had coming to visit us at Hue Light by becoming an active participant in her own health and by utilizing the Hue Light equipment in her journey. And today we'll be able to share that to inspire others so they too can be able to get great success in their health journeys.
I'm 58 years old. I'm a mother of 12 kids and many more grandchildren. I've had a very active, busy life. Many years I worked as a mortgage broker. I lived in Lakewood, New Jersey. Then 17 years ago, we moved to Muncie. That was when the mortgage business crashed, so I switched careers. I started working for a nursing home. I was the hospital liaison. My health started to deteriorate. I noticed a tremor in my left arm. I made an appointment by a neurologist in the city. Finally got the appointment, went to him. He said, oh, it's just a non-essential tremor. It's nothing. I'll give you some medication. It'll go away. We tried telling him that my walk wasn't the way it used to be. He ignored it and said, no. He had me walk around. He said, no, it's normal. Everything, you look fine. I kept saying, but something doesn't seem right. I just don't feel right.
Hi, my name is Rabbi Chaim Pechter. I'm married to Chanie Pechter, and we used to a lot going down at the same time. A lot of balance of, I work full-time, she works full-time, a lot of kids to take care of, a lot of joy, a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on. She held down a full job to support the fantastic visions that we've had as a family, and it all kind of came to an abrupt stop when she couldn't work anymore. There's a lot of things that fell out of place. Chanie has always had the most, thank God, the most energy that I've seen on any person. We were young newlyweds. She went out and learned to become a pastry chef. She actually was friends with the pastry chef in the White House. There was a lot of good food in the house. We had, thank God, 12 kids. She went through a bunch of careers. She was a great mortgage broker. And then when that kind of crashed, the whole market crashed, she moved on to being the case manager for a nursing home. It was very, very active, very busy house, balancing the 12 kids as they got older, their education, their needs, the whole thing with a full-time job. Life was hectic and it was just fantastic. It was very almost sudden, a little bit after COVID, when she started seeing these different kinds of symptoms that were slowing her down. And this is not the kind of thing that gets an absolute diagnosis. It's a syndrome. You get what's called, you have Parkinson symptoms. And no doctor's gonna tie himself down. And it could definitely, you could get those symptoms for many, many different reasons where the brain is actually not producing, what is it called? The dopamine, or is it because the mitochondria there is sluggish? And it can happen in many, many ways. I started doing my research to try to see if there was something profound going on, something that I could directly impact. Now, Chanie, like we said, is full of energy and full of determination not to be a patient and not to be sluggish and to resume her life and be there for everybody.
I was developing many more problems. I started getting terrible stiffness in my body and exhaustion that is non-explainable. My whole life I had extreme high energy. was able to manage the house with 12 kids, a job, always doing things, never feeling weak. And now I was exhausted and couldn't function. I went to my primary care doctor and I said, something is wrong. You must help me figure this out. So he made me tons of doctor's appointments, from cardiologists, gastro doctor, any type of doctor you can imagine. And then he also said, let's just do an MRI just to see. So I figured, I'm crossing everything off. I'll cross that off also. When I went into the MRI machine, I had no qualms about it. I was like, nothing. I'm just doing this because I have to do this. Meanwhile, he called me later that day that they see lesions on my brain. Right away, I sent it to a different doctor that I know, the results of the MRI, and he had somebody read it who was nervous that maybe I had MS. So I made an appointment by the biggest MS doctor in the city. Of course, you have to wait a few weeks. Those couple weeks were absolute torture. After hours of testing, they said, no, it's not MS because it's not on the frontal lobe. So thank God it's not MS, but we think you might have Parkinson's. We want you to see a different neurologist. So I went to a different neurologist, hours of testing, and they just walked into the room and said very coldly, oh yes, that's what it is. You have Parkinson's. So of course I was beyond hysterical. Here my life came crashing down. So I reached out to people and found out about not eating anything inflammatory. I changed my whole diet. I no longer eat anything with sugar, any sweeteners, even like fake sugars. No wheat, no dairy. So all the inflammatory foods are out of my diet. Then I heard about a place in Florida that does hyperbaric oxygen chambers and that it's supposed to help.
So she started with diet and she started with exercise. And then we heard about a hyperbaric center in Florida. It helped a friend of mine who had a biking accident. It really helped him very, very much. So we thought, hey, maybe if there's some trauma to the brain, maybe we should look into hyperbarics and see what that can do. And she went there, and I would say she had limited success. She had success, but there was definitely not transformative.
I went down there for 9 weeks and did it 3 hours a day. And slowly I started seeing a difference. I wasn't as stiff. My face wasn't as stiff. I was able to move around more. It was slow.
Symptoms were better, and she came back more mobile and less stiff. But we wanted to do more. I guess we'd call it a lead, because if that was working, then maybe more of that, or somehow in a better way, a better presentation of that kind of approach would be more helpful.
I did see a difference. So after 9 weeks, I came back home, and I still was finding out more and more about healthy ways to help myself. I started doing Pilates twice a week. Then I found out about a boxing group for people with Parkinson's. I do that. And I do exercise the other days on my own, just cardio. I still wasn't happy with my results.
A good friend of Darren Schwartz, a good friend of yours, we were advised to go see him. He was in LA, he was a neurologist, and he had like a broader perspective on neurology than your typical schooled doctor. So we were told, given our approach and what we was looking for, why don't you try him? So I remember where I was. We were actually on vacation, and we just used the time to give him a call just to see if we can make an appointment, or is it worth an appointment? He spent an hour and a half on the phone with us. And his main message was, I got a friend that I think can help you, because if you've seen success with hyperbaric, that's one approach. That's one part of a protocol. But he's got the whole protocol, and you seem down for this, and you seem motivated to do it. Why don't you give him a call? And we didn't know what to expect, calling a guy. He's got a showroom. He's in business. Like, well, what do you expect? We call a guy, and he's just all there for you. Like, come on down, sure, make yourself at home, and sat and discussed things with us, explained it from a very intellectual point of view, which, quite frankly, I probably got 80% of that. But just on a practical level of what will work and what not to work. And we started the protocol.
So I reached out and started coming at the beginning of July of 2023. I've been coming every week since then. Meanwhile, after I started coming, I went to a different neurologist in the city who I heard was very knowledgeable in Parkinson's. And she examined me, and she was so thrilled with my results. She couldn't believe that I'm not on medication. She said she wishes all her Parkinson's patients looked like me. I don't take any medication. I live a very active, full life, but I do come here 1 to 2 times a week, and I use the hydrogen machine every single day.
So your journey went in stages.
Yes.
In the beginning, you were doing it 2 or 3 days a week, right? So in time, you said, okay, I need to do more hydrogen, and then you started doing more hydrogen at home.
I got the hydrogen machine in the house, and obviously it's in my bedroom. So I hook myself up in the evening and do it for like 2 hours. Then in the morning, before my husband leaves to work, he sets it up for me again, let's say 5:30 in the morning. So I get another 2 hours in the morning. So at the beginning, I was doing anywhere between 3 to 4 hours a day. And then I noticed how much better I was feeling. I wanted to do it even more. Recently, I just upped it that I go to sleep with it. So I'll set the machine for 5 hours and sleep with it. Sometimes in the middle of those 5 hours, I wake up and I just need a break and, I turn it off. But many times I sleep 5 hours straight with it. And I feel that it's unbelievable. Like, my activity level is much higher, my strength is much better, and my stiffness is going away. And the pain, I don't have any more pain from stiffness, which I did before I started all this.
I would say you can almost call it immediate results, where Chanie it was maybe it was 2 times or 3 times, where almost immediately there was sometimes like you don't even realize what just happened, and then you think back and you say, whoa. Because, these are things and movements that people make without thinking, and then as you become, unfortunately, stiffer or challenged, so then these movements are something that you have to think about. But if you can revert back to not thinking about it, you don't realize that until it's an afterthought. So 1 minute, I'm not in pain. Or I just reached for my car door and closed it without the process and the delay. So we started seeing that almost immediately, and it was a fantastic feeling. And I'm a driven guy. Chanie has much more energy than I was blessed with, but I'm very driven and focused when I see something. I said, we're going there. We're going there all the time. And I actually last summer I made it my business to drive her down here for 3 times a week, and the results were amazing. It was so nice to almost like put the whole problem behind us. Not that the pain and the sluggishness, and it comes with a sense of helplessness. All that was, no, I got a plan and we're doing this and it's going to work.
So after 3 treatments, we were on our way home and we stopped at a rest stop, and I just got out of the car, and all of a sudden I turned to my husband and I said, did you see that? That's unbelievable. I didn't think about it. I just got out of the car. I just popped out. Now you have to understand that somebody with my condition, getting in and out of a car is something you have to think about. And you do it slowly and carefully because you're stiff and you can't move. And after 3 times, I was just out of the car in a second. It was like a real aha moment for me. Like, wow, look at what happened after 3 times. Now, I don't notice on a daily basis how much better I am, but people that see me, I just met somebody over the weekend and she said, I know you have this diagnosis, but you don't have any symptoms. Now, I know I have symptoms. I'm very aware of when I feel stiff or something, but other people looking at me just don't even notice it. They're like, we don't believe you that you even have this diagnosis. I feel great, and my symptoms are going away. So what more could I ask for?
What would you say to someone who's dealing with the same diagnosis as you?
That I feel very bad for them. And that they have to be strong and not let it get them down and fight it every single day. And don't make themselves into a patient. Fight it and get better.
So we need to be an active participant in our health, and a lot of people don't realize
Right.
that today. And that's one thing that I commend you for, because when we first met, you told me all the changes you made in your life, and you continue to make those changes with exercise and with diet, lifestyle choices. And because of that, you know, you have thanked me before, and I've always said, you know, the response is don't thank me, thank yourself, because you're an active participant in your health. And because of that, you had great success. And you should be, you know, very proud of yourself for that. And that's, you know, for me to be able to watch your journey, to see when you first came in here, I mean, I thought you had a stroke. When you first walked in the door, the left side of your body was frozen. And I just looked and said, that's a stroke. And when I talked to you about it, you said Parkinson's, and I said, wow. And that's not the case anymore. When you first walked in here, your left arm didn't move. It was frozen.
Right.
And today you have movement in that arm. So for me, the joy that I get to watch your journey, to watch your progress is inspiring, you know, and it's inspiring for me, it's inspiring for others going through similar diagnosis or other chronic diseases that need help. You know, we need people like you to speak out to inspire. You know, we all need that little extra oomph, you know. So.
Well, there's no food, no cake, no sugar that's worth not feeling good. So people always say to me, are you allowed to have it? I'm allowed to have everything. I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. I choose not to eat it because it hurts me. Once I understood that sugar is so dangerous for somebody who has stiffness, and it just increases it 10 times, I took it out of my diet. And you know what? I don't miss it. I really, really don't miss it. I don't want it when I see it, because feeling good is so much better than any food can give you.
Amazing. That's well said. Amazing. So you've used all the equipment. You've used the light bed, used the hyperbaric chamber, you used the vibration plate, used the hydrogen, you do the whole protocol. Tell me a little bit about the sonics, the vibration plate, and the benefits that you believe that you got from that device.
They say that it's very good for all your muscles, like that it tightens everything up. And I definitely noticed, you know, not right away. After a while, I noticed that, hey, I'm feeling much different. Problems that I thought I had, I no longer have. And it really, you know, having 12 kids, when you sneeze at my age, you have to think about it. Thank God, I don't have that problem anymore. The sonic really made a difference.
So strengthen the pelvic floor, which is very important to women. Yeah, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It also, you know, it increases the strength of the muscle, but also because of that vibration technology, it smooths muscles and breaks down anything that's built up in the muscle that prevented the free range of motion.
Right. I don't know exactly what it's doing, but it works.
So
I just
great.
say, but I saw it after a while. Like all of a sudden, it hit me. Hey,
Right.
I just sneezed and I'm fine.
So your tremors today are gone, except, you know, as you tell me, and let's talk about that. When you get excited or you get nervous when you're in a video, you can talk
Right.
about.
Oh,
typically
right
they're gone.
now I am shaking terribly because
Right.
I'm nervous and I can't stop that nervousness.
Right.
But if I get excited, like great news, I'll also shake. It's all neurological. So whatever's happening, if I'm very upset or very happy, my left arm will have a tremor.
Right.
So right now, it's tremoring.
But when you're calm and just
When
relaxed
I'm
reading a
calm,
book,
relaxed,
there's nothing.
Nothing, no tremor at all. I am thrilled with the results. I couldn't be happier. Coming here is phenomenal for me. When I leave, I feel like a different person each time. And every time I come, I feel better and better.
And my only regret is I don't have them in my own home, because at the end of the day, during the winter, coming up to the Catskills, still limited to some degree. It ends up sometimes once a week and twice a week. And I'll tell you quite frankly that when it's once a week, we can tell. And when it's twice a week, we can tell, because it really helps. And I personally have benefited from machines. Once I'm here, I use them. And when you come out of that light machine, you have no doubt that you were in something that's transformatory. I mean, you feel like you just ran a marathon, or it beats you up, and then the next day it's like a workout. You wake up energized and clarity of thought. And this goes on almost every machine. I'm not a candidate for the oxygen capsule because I have a little problem with my ear, but I see it on Chanie, and then when you do the hydrogen, I mean, literally, to the point where I actually purchased the machine and brought it home, because it's just something I can't say no to. We just look for different ways of her continuing the process and spending so much time on that machine, because the more time she spends on that machine, that's how different tomorrow's going to be. And that's phenomenal. So my advice to people is take advantage of Darren's great nature and get to know these machines and find out where they have them near you, because this can really make a difference. Even someone who has a challenge is seeing so much results. Certainly, your typical person is exposed to life, which is full of stress and full of poisons. And if you can get rid of that, I mean, it's basic logic. If the only thing you know is medicine, then this place is not for you. But if you can think past that box and realize that you can make yourself as healthy as you want to, and you can be careful, and you can do the things that bring your body back to square one, where it started, you're going to see a lot of good results and have a lot more energy and more joy in your life.
As a mother of a large family, I want to be there for every single one of my kids and for my grandchildren, and even for my husband. So when I got my diagnosis, I just couldn't deal with it the first couple days. Just kept Googling, seeing all the problems that I was going to have. And I said, no, this is not going to happen to me. I'm not going to become one of those people. I'm going to fight this and do whatever I can to be okay. I don't want somebody to have to take care of me. I want to take care of everybody else. I still have to rely on other people for some things to help me. And it's very painful. It's something I work on all the time, but I come here to Hue Light by myself. I drive, I do the protocol, go through all the machines and leave. And I'm very happy to have that time by myself. A lot of people have even offered to come with, to drive me. I don't want that. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I want to be able to take care of myself and not need other people to take care of me.
Well, Chanie, I thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your amazing story, inspiring many people to be able to help themselves become an active participant in their own health. And I want to thank our viewers today for joining us and for sharing in Chanie's great health success. And I wish blessings to everybody, that they should all find peace and happiness and great feeling in their health.